COVID's around the corner. And that's just a natural part of the fact that we did not deal with a airborne communicable disease. As Sean Bean is fond of saying, winter is on the way. I know. And his character, if it gets angry at me, is going to die anyway. What does it matter? Winter's around the corner, and that will mean that people will be in enclosed spaces, passing this disease back and forth. We don't know all the long-term effects it will have, and it will kill a lot of people. Andrea Rovinsky talked about it recently on her stream. I'm going to try this again, but it's an obstacle course of a sentence that I've presented for you here. This is a suggestion, hey, there we go, from the anti-corporatist. And I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Andrea Rovinsky talking about what we can expect because of the way the government is currently handling COVID. But I got to tell you, I'm not freaked out, and I'll explain why on the other side.
And this is how propaganda works, right? There are people that may notice everyone in their lives are sick with the so-called summer flu. Their favorite musicians are delaying or canceling tour dates because they're sick and they can't perform, right? They're seeing people all across social media, they're sick with the summer flu. You know, because I guess everyone just forgot that we're in a pandemic? Like, they're that dumb? I don't know. This is why I've given up on humanity.
A little harsh, but all right.
But let's read this. In May, when the Biden administration ended the nation's 3-year-old public health emergency, some Americans may have felt like they no longer had to worry about COVID. While severe illness in the U.S. fell across the spring, I just want to put a pin in this. The CDC and other government institutions have stopped counting motherfucking cases and hospitalizations and deaths. So when you look at a chart and you see, woo, things are going way down, what you need to do is look up when did the CDC change reporting guidelines, add that date to the chart, and then it makes a lot more sense. Oh, cases went down at exactly the same time the CDC told everyone to stop testing.
I know correlation is not, what is the phrase? Correlation is not causation. But that is a good technique to do. For double checking that the narrative you're being told about the numbers is accurate. Because she's right. Even though we were quieter about it, it's no different than when Trump said, if you don't count them, they're not there. But again, I say, don't worry. Prepare, but don't worry. There is a dark upside to this.
At exactly the same time, tests became something you have to buy instead of being given for free. At the same time that tests became something you don't have to report. All of a sudden, no testing, no cases. Donald Trump style. Well, let's keep going. Hundreds have still died every week since then. Now again, the numbers are an undercount. In many cases, they are not saying people have died from COVID. They die of something else, something magical. Yeah, 25-year-olds are dying of heart attacks. Totally not COVID, no! It's some genetic thing or something. We don't really know. Definitely not COVID, though. Definitely not. And then you see a bunch of these anti-vaccine lunatics running a field day. Because it's obvious to most people that the government is lying to you. And when you have a population that's so critically uninformed, so fucking stupid, they're going to jump on the exact opposite conclusion.
I don't know that I wholly agree with her, but largely, sure. Yeah. Here's what I sees with that. Who are the group of people, let's say the group of voters, that you are most concerned about in 2024? When you imagine somebody that is going to vote for the destruction of this country and of the world through an action on climate change, when you think about people who are going to take up arms if we dare enforce the law against a former president because that former president was a Republican, is a Republican, as a matter of fact, who are they? Are they the people that are likely to take the vaccine, are likely to go out of their way to get the vaccine, or are they the people who are likely to pretend, whether they believe it or not, pretend like the vaccine is part of some conspiracy and therefore ignore it? Are they the healthiest lot? How do they feel about those cigarettes? I realize what a hypocrite I am, but facts is facts. They're not good for you. They do rough things to your lungs. Makes it harder to handle COVID. So, I think that the left has a is it serotonin? Serotonin. I think the left has a serotonin problem. We're so used to misery, and we have such a Catholic style guilt about everything. I think perhaps to the credit of progressives, to the credit of their character. But the reality is, fascism's got no legs. The reason you need to be a fascist is because you don't know how to actually run a country. Fascism is a symptom of other diseases, other flaws in a country. Fascism takes over when the country is too weak to fight it off. So you got to be strong. It's going to be perhaps expensive this time around to get the vaccine. If you don't like that, good news. A lot of the people that will make it difficult to push Joe Biden, who I presume will be president if we work hard in 2024, the people that would make it difficult to push Joe Biden in the direction of making the vaccine free again, they're going to be gone. A lot of them will be. Now, the problem with progressives, I find, is that we beg these people, for example, to get the vaccine already and protect yourselves and don't spread this disease around the community. Don't spread it to my family. Don't spread it amongst your family. I don't want your nasty self coughing on your kid, and then your kid goes to school, gives it to my kid, and then my kid gets grandma sick, and then I miss my mama for the rest of my life because you were cosplaying a rebel. We do that. But then we also feel bad. We also agonize over the guy who refused to get vaccinated expiring as a result of his own decisions. That's probably good. That's how we stay human. We should keep doing that, but we should also say, okay, we tried to warn you. We're still trying to warn you. But I won't mourn you because of that first part. Fascism's got no legs. We are well on the way to outlasting it. And the decisions we're going to have to be making, or rather the goals we should be focusing on, because on the way to achieving them, we beat fascism anyway. We just outvote them. On the goals we should be focusing on are staying healthy and getting enough progressives in office that we get to dictate. We get to dictate. what the agenda is going to be. And if you don't think it's possible, I'll tell you, sure didn't feel that way in Michigan in, say, 2016. We're going to talk about that in a moment.